I'm really excited to share these 5-ingredient easy recipes. I'm Amy. I'm a wife and a mom to a 2.5-year-old and a 9-month-old, and I like to make easy and healthier meals for my family. I'm really excited and happy to share these 3 recipes with you. If you have the chicken prepped, it takes less than 30 minutes for each recipe, and they're just so unique and so delicious. Let's go ahead and get started. You may have made salsa chicken in your crock pot before, but this takes it to a whole nother level. I'm making these amazing chicken enchiladas. The first thing I'm doing is I'm adding some chicken breast to this crock pot. I'm adding 2 different kinds of salsa just because I have a jar that's already opened in the fridge, but normally I would just use 1 jar. Now I'm going to cover it up and cook it on low for 6 hours. This chicken has been cooking for a little less than 6 hours. So actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this liquid out, and then I'm gonna put some cream cheese in here. This is whipped cream cheese. You can use regular if you'd like. I'm gonna go ahead and shred the meat up. You could see it's just falling apart off the bigger piece. You see that? And I am turning this off. This looks delicious. It smells delicious. I am going to just kind of cover it, let the chicken soak up a bit more of the juices, and I will get the other ingredients ready. I have my enchilada sauce and my tortillas. So I'm going to pour some of this enchilada sauce in the pan. I'm going to kind of tilt it so that it kind of covers the entire dish. That's good enough. Does this not look so delicious? It smells so good. And it's just those 3 ingredients. I mean, it can't get easier than that. While I get my parchment paper ready so I can assemble the enchiladas, I do want to say that I chose to use like a green enchilada sauce, but you can also use like a red enchilada sauce. You can make yours homemade if you'd like. I do think green enchilada sauce, it tends to be spicier, so just keep that in mind. I'm filling the tortillas now. As you can see, the chicken mixture is like a little bit liquidy, but I just think that adds more flavor, and plus enchiladas tend to have kind of that softer inside and just crunchy, they're crunchy around the edges. My husband was especially excited about trying these enchiladas because it's one of his favorite foods. He absolutely loves enchiladas. These are also all filled and ready. I'm a little low on space, so I'm just gonna hold the camera and I'll just kind of show you what I'm gonna do. So basically I'm just gonna take them, put them as close together as I can. Let's pour the enchilada sauce on top. For the amount of enchiladas I made, I could have used 2 packets of sauce, but I actually liked just 1. This sauce is just a bit spicy, so this was the perfect amount. I actually like to leave the enchilada sauce in the middle and the edges out. That way the edges get kind of crispy and the middle stays kind of like soft and kind of soaks up all of the enchilada sauce. So I'm gonna bake these at 350, probably for like 15 minutes. I'm not putting cheese on top. Here they are out of the oven. These were so good. The chicken had a really nice cheesiness from that cream cheese. The salsa gave it really good flavor, and the enchilada sauce was really good too. The tortillas were soft and, the middle. They were crispy around the edges. I mean, these were so delicious. My husband loved them. I loved them. And I mean, only 5 ingredients. You can't beat that. This did not taste like it was only 5 ingredients. It was just so good. I'm making Cajun chicken sausage pasta. This was amazing. If there's any one of these you should make, it's definitely this one, although all of them are really good. My husband even said this is something he would order from like Cheesecake Factory or from Noodles and Company. But here are the ingredients, just 5 ingredients. It's going to be a really quick recipe. I'm using this chicken sausage. You can definitely use chicken breast if you'd prefer. And I'm using pasta. I cooked up the whole pound, but I only added about 10 ounces to this pasta dish. Cajun seasoning, you can make your own if you'd prefer. Whipped cream cheese, you can also use regular again if you'd prefer. And then fire roasted diced tomatoes. The first thing I'm doing is I'm getting water on to boil since that'll take the longest. I chose not to make this recipe a one pot recipe because it's just going to be a lot quicker. So that way while the water is coming to a boil, I can go ahead and start on the sauce. But if you'd prefer to, you definitely can. You would just cook the pasta, take it out, then cook everything else. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm slicing up the chicken sausage. Now moving over to the stove, I'm putting olive oil in the pan and I'm going to cook up the chicken sausage. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting the chicken sausage in once the pan gets hot and I'm just putting it in an even layer. I'm leaving it alone. It took about 5 minutes or so. I just want to brown it and then I'm going to flip it over and brown the other side and then I'll take the chicken sausage out of the pan and get started on the sauce. Once I removed the chicken sausage, I added the fire roasted diced tomatoes. I didn't clean the pan in between or anything like that. I gave it a good stir and I added the Cajun seasoning. I added 2 teaspoons of the Cajun seasoning, but if you like things extra spicy, you can add more. I stirred that all in and then I covered it and turned it on low just so that the sauce would heat through more slowly so that way I can cook the pasta at the same time. So at this point, the pasta water is boiling, so I put in the pasta. Now I'm going to finish up the sauce. So I removed the lid, I added in the whipped cream cheese, gave it a nice stir, and then I put the chicken sausage back in. I added the pasta in once it was all cooked, and that's it. This was really quick, really easy, and it will definitely become a staple in this house. It was just so amazing. The Cajun flavor really came through. It was creamy. We loved it. Next, I'm going to make this egg and hash brown casserole. It's really easy, tasty, and I'll show you the ingredients I use for it. I know there are a ton of breakfasts you can have for 5 ingredients or less, like oatmeal and cereal, but I wanted to make something more special and unique. Here are all of the ingredients. I did kind of cheat. This recipe is technically 6 ingredients, but that's because I used 2 different kinds of cheese, but you can definitely just choose one kind of cheese. But I have the hash browns, milk, eggs, the cheese, and a can of diced green chilies. And then I'm just seasoning it with things you would probably have in your pantry, but you can just use salt and pepper, or you can add Italian seasoning instead of the oregano and basil. This recipe is super quick and easy. The first thing I'm going to do is add the eggs to a bowl. I'm going to add in that cheese. Of course, you can add whatever kind of cheese you'd like. I'm going to add in the seasonings now, which are salt, pepper, oregano, basil, but you could simply just use salt and pepper if you'd like. And then I'm going to add in the diced green chilies and the milk. This recipe is also really good to meal prep if you like to meal prep and you can eat it throughout the week. I've also made variations of this before. And I've used a variety of different ingredients, but I've also put it in the freezer and you can save it for another week as well. Once the egg is completely mixed, I'm going to go ahead and take a casserole dish. I just sprayed it with like avocado oil spray, but you can use butter or, whatever you'd like. You just don't want it to stick. And then I dumped in the hash browns. I will leave the measurements for everything below, but I just kind of evenly spread that. I sprinkled it with salt because I had salt-free hash browns. And then I added the egg mixture on top. I tried to put it on as evenly as I could. And then I baked it in the oven at 350. It took about 45 minutes. We love this recipe. It's just those 5 ingredients, plus I added extra cheese and the seasonings, but it's really easy, it's healthy, it's a really satisfying and delicious breakfast. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more. I do post every single week. And if you're on WW, check out the description. I will include the links to the recipe builder for your personalized points. I'll see you next time.